All right, so we are going to start the implant video. Leviathan's with me. So to give you guys a quick breakdown, what we're going to do, we're going to go through every implant, and there are a ton. There's over 112. Do you remember how many I said it was, Leviathan? I don't remember. I can look real quick.
I cannot tell you at all.
Oh, here, hang on. Let me take a gander. Where's my folder? Flashbang. All right, so we have 114 implants to cover. So, all right, how we're going to do this is I'm going to pull up each implant individually, and then we're going to discuss it, and then we're going to rate it. We're not going to do it based on cost. We're going to literally just do it based on what we believe it is, as far as like S, A, B, C, all that stuff. So as we do this, we will drag them on to where they go. So for example, we'll do the first one right here. The and I can't even say that. Adrenostem? Is that
The adrenostem.
Thank you. So here is what the implant is. So 5% damage, 3% experience, 5% search. It doesn't matter how you get anything like that. We're just going to rate them and then put them into the correct categories. Now, with that being said, eventually I'll make videos going in depth, but I want this to take 20 to 30 minutes. Might take longer, but I'll make videos individually and go in depth about each implant, but that'll be at a whole nother time. So the first one, what do we want to go with this? So what we have 5% damage inflicted, 3% experience gain, and 5% search. So we got some damage, we got some experience, and we got some search speed. So my first impression, I don't think it's over dramatic. I would say it's kind of mid-tier. What are your thoughts on that?
I would agree. I would say it's definitely solid mid-tier looter. It's, decently well-rounded. You get a little bit of damage to ensure you one-shot the zombies around bunker. That search speed is always nice. Stacking search speed makes it way quicker to get between spots.
So what do you think?
I would definitely
B or
say it
C?
sits around a B.
All right, B. And again, we can change these. I'm imagining when we get through this, we'll have some that we've moved around some. But, all right, so now we're going to go to the next one. And I don't know if there's a way I can just click. I might have to open up that folder. All right, flashbang. I'll leave this folder up on my other screen. And that way I can just quickly go to it. All right, so the next one is going to be Amber. So Amber implant, 12% damage. So my opinion, with a 12% damage like that, I'm gonna probably go towards A, maybe B. I don't know. What's your input?
I would say it sits at like a low A tier, definitely. It's a solid damage inflicted increase. It can't be used with the bone spirograph. That does give a slightly more stats. It's not groundbreaking in difference. But it does set a lower A tier for me.
All right, so we'll put it on A, and then if we get through this and realize, hey, we should probably knock it down a bit, we'll do that. All right, so the next we're going to go through Annihilation. 30% damage and 20% movement speed negative. So tit for tat. This is a hard one. Gosh,
you don't have to run away when things are dead, man.
Yeah, that's true. I'd probably go with, in my opinion, I'd go with A. What do you want to give it?
Yeah, I would give it an A as well. It's solid damage inflicted, and when you get closer to endgame, that movement speed's not going to affect you near as much.
All right, Apex. So 8% experience, 8% damage, 15% damage reduction, 8% movement speed. I would say probably an S class, but that's my call. What's yours?
I would agree with that. It's definitely S class. It's solid all around. It is, up there. It does take a bit to get, but it is definitely worth it.
And again, guys, I might have a completely, maybe I think that's S, and maybe he thinks that's C, and we can agree on something. So don't take what I say, as it is what it is. It can be either or. So this is just our opinions. So next we have Behemoth implant. So 5 and 5. My opinion, C.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on this one too. The experience is nice, but there are much better implants to put in that slot that give you more. It is a prerequisite for the Apex though, so it does have a use.
What was the adrenocism one? I forget what that was. Was that just 2 things? No, it was 3. Okay.
Yeah, it was 3.
All right. Blood Fiend. God, dude, we have so many to go through. Holy cow. All right, Blood Fiend Implant. So this one, 12% experience, 3% damage, 2% incoming damage reduction, 3% movement speed. I would say probably A, in my opinion. What's yours?
It's a toss up between A and B for me because it can't be used with the Bloodlust or the Ravenous Gut. Uh, they do have other bonuses and drawbacks to using those as well.
Right.
But it is solid all around. It's a toss up between B and C for me.
Okay, so we'll go with B. Did I already do Blood Fiend? I don't see it in my we didn't yet, but I don't see it in my
Oh no, we
here
didn't.
it is. Here it is. No, we did do that. So what's
Yeah. Oh, the Bloodlust.
Are they just very similar?
No,
I
they are
see what happened.
completely
I said,
different.
look, I put the Bloodlust in there. I'm sorry. Okay, now we have to do.
You're good.
Now we're on this. I need to close I didn't know it was opening all these too.
Well, Bloodlust can't be used with so it's a toss up between the two. One's more for damage and one's more for looting.
I would say just for because it's going to get confusing because all these are going to conflict with each other. I would just go off our base stats. I'm not going to go off price, and I'm not going to go off of can't use this, can't use that, because that's going to make it even longer. And again, people aren't going to watch this for an hour or two. So I would just ignore that and just go off our base stats, and then they can fight over which one they want. You know what I mean? So Bloodlust, 5% damage, 3% incoming damage reduction, 5% movement speed, and 10% search. I would say that's pretty daggone good. I would say, what, A for me? What do you think? I like the movement speed and I like the search.
Yeah, A is a solid choice for that one.
Okay, and now we got Bone Spirit. I don't like that I have to close these images every time, but that's all right. Or Bone Spire.
You could try using your arrow keys.
Okay.
Arrow keys might siphon through them.
I'll try that after this one. All right, Bone Spire Graft. So 12% damage inflicted, 2% incoming damage reduction. So it does have that damage. What did we put the other one at? We put out an A. I'd say probably an A as well because it does give you negative 3% speed. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no. I do think it is A as well. That's huge damage, and if you're grinding in Wasteland, you hit a break point with that. That movement speed's not really going to be an issue because the weapons you're using are going to, either knock back or slow.
Dude, you're a legend. I can just click right arrow. Oh my gosh. Okay, that helps. All right, so Brawler Implant. Damage reduction out. I don't know. It depends on what you're doing. If you're PvPing, it's a must-have, but I'm gonna give it a B. What's your opinion?
It's very situational. Like, incoming damage reduction is really nice for new accounts, but as you get further into the game, it becomes less of an issue. It sits at C for me, to be completely honest. Like, it's probably
okay
like
that.
A high B, low A.
I'm okay with the
early
C.
Game, but
I don't ever use it either, and I have it. I just I don't have a use for it. Okay. Next, Calamity. So 11% damage. That's just right there with our Amber. I'd say maybe like a B plus. I know Amber was 12%. So I mean, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
it's a solid damage. It's a solid bit of damage. It definitely sits at a high B.
Should we go with B?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Cat's Eye. So 2% damage. I'm going to say, in my opinion, this is an A just because of the movement speed and the 2%. There's not a whole lot of implants that give a ton of movement speed. I can see it falling into a lower rank, but in my opinion, I do use it. What's your thoughts?
If you're using it for looting, definitely A tier. But if you're going to be using it for bossing, it falls into a B. So it's a toss-up for me.
All right, we'll go with B. Celerity Implant. So 11% movement speed. I'm going to go with an A just because it's the movement speed implant. What's your thought?
Solid movement speed, man. You can't pass it up. It's definitely an A.
Okay, now we got the Challenger. 8% damage, 25% chance to find weapons, and 15% search speed. So for looters,
For looters, that's huge. It would sit in S tier for looting for me. It is very viable to use when you have an open implant slot. You slap that in there. Weapons or weapon find is one of the best stats for looters to static.
weapon find is, for me, I would give it an A, but we'll put it up to S. We only have one S, so we'll go with it and see where we get. Christmas, 5% chance and 5%. So a lot of these holiday ones are probably they're just basic implants you get from opening gifts and things like that. I would say they're probably going to fall in F. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty much base completely. I would put it at F. It is a crafting requirement for better implants,
Right.
but it sits at an F for me.
Most people just scrap them because you end up getting a ton of them through the events. Crimson Cortex, so 10% experience, 5% movement speed, 30% chance for find miscellaneous blueprints, and negative 3% attack speed. I'm gonna put this probably at A. I almost want to say S, but I believe the S is like extremely hard to get. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, I'm gonna go with A.
I know S is definitely hard to get for me. I don't see much use in the blueprint find unless you're stacking solely blueprint, and then it's a negligible increase. It sits at a B for me. The experience and movement speed is nice, but you can find other ones with the same stats that have
Right.
a better tertiary role.
So I'll throw this one in A because I thought it was a challenger for S and you thought it was a B. So, and my original was an A, so I'll just go in between. Dark Pumpkin, 10% damage, 3% damage reduction. I would say that's an A. What's your call?
Yeah, it's definitely an A. Really nice for bossing.
Okay, the Data Implant, 12% experience. So I'm going to go 1% damage, 1% incoming damage reduction, and 1% movement speed. I'm going to go with probably an A.
I am going to have to disagree with you on that. I think it belongs in S simply due to there being very few experience implants that are higher than 10.
Okay, that's fair. We'll go with an S. Dawn Guardian Implant, 15% incoming damage reduction and 10% movement speed. Again, you know, personally, I'm not a huge fan on damage reduction ones. So I feel like it should be an S because it's hard to get and it does have its place. But personally, I'd give it an A. What's your thoughts?
I think it falls in A as well. It is really nice, really useful for bossing in the Southeast Zone, but that's about one of the only uses it has.
All right. Dawn Scavenger, 20% ammo, 20% cash, 20% chance to find weapons, 25% or 20% chance to find armor, 5% more loot spots, 15% search speed. In my opinion, this is an S.
That is undoubtedly an S. The loot spots and search speed alone are top tier.
I almost mimicked that over my other things, but Dawn Warrior Implant. So 10% experience gain, 10% damage, 3% movement speed, 7% search. I'm going to give this an S as well. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that one definitely belongs in S as well. You running bandits nonstop, that's something that you want.
Then we have Dead Man's Grasp. 12% damage inflicted, negative 15% search speed. In my opinion, if you're doing damage, you're probably not searching. You're not looting very much. So I'm going to say it's probably, in my opinion, an A. What's yours?
Yeah, it belongs in A, definitely. It's solid damage. You know, you're going to be using that for grinding experience. That's the only use for it. You know, it's not like you can slap it on and go looting.
Right. All right, Dealer Implant. This one, yeah, it can be F or it can be S. So
Yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna put it in. I mean, I think it should go into S because it can be an S, but who knows? That's miscellaneous. Do you agree?
Yeah, it's really hard to place this one. I would say A because you can loot the armor, weapons, and search speed. And if you roll all three of those at a 20%, you are golden.
Right. Okay, we'll go with an S on it. Or an A, sorry. Okay. Destruction implant. Just 10%. I'm going to give it, on my opinion, an A. What about you?
It definitely falls into A tier.
Devil's implant, 5% incoming damage and 5% speed. In my opinion, I'd probably put it at, I kind of want to say a C to me, man.
For me, it falls into a B. It is solid movement speed, and it's not that hard to get.
Okay. So we'll go with it. Dusk implant, 5% experience, 5% damage, 1% movement speed, and 2% search speed. I would give it a B, just because I know there's higher variance, and I don't think it's competing with the A class.
You can find better implants for around the same-ish, and it doesn't fill any specific role. It definitely belongs in B tier.
And again, I'm gonna put this with the what was that, Christmas implant? Do you agree? Put it down there in F.
Yeah,
1%
yeah, it belongs
damage,
down there.
1%
It's
yeah, and
that's only a craft item.
correct. All right, elf implant, 5% ammo, 5% cash, 5% chance, 5% weapon find, 10% loot spots, 10% search. I'm gonna put it at A. What's your thoughts?
It's a toss-up between S and A for me, simply because that is a massive amount of loot spots and search speed.
It is, and I agree. I would struggle with I almost want to go S as well. We'll put it in A for now, and then if we don't have very many S's, maybe we'll bump it up. Enforcer, 10% experience. I would say probably A in my opinion. What's yours?
Yeah, it would probably set an A for me. You get it really early, and you'll hold on to it for a minute.
And I kind of look at like anything with just a base 10%, no negativity. I mean, it's 10% is pretty good. So all the implants, they also have negatives. We'll look at all of them, but most of them will probably be in similar categories. So 6% movement speed, but you lose 5% search speed. I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. Maybe C's or B's. What are you thinking?
I would definitely say C. It's solid movement speed, but the downside is the search speed. Like if you're trying to stack movement speed, you're probably looting or endgame bossing. There's better implants for what you're looking for.
Right, they kind of contradict each other. Like you said, you're going to be looting or something, and it's going to slow you down on searching. So I agree, it does kind of cancel it out. All right, Iron Skin, 8% damage reduction, 4% movement speed. Again, you're using this to reduce damage, but you're not going to move as fast. So I think it's going to be the same class. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and now we're to the next one, X Perception. Again, they're canceling each other out. See?
Yeah, I think this one sits at a B for me, to be completely honest. That's 8% experience. That's a solid number. If you're experienced grinding, you're not really worried about being hit that much.
You know what? I didn't even think about it, but so with experience, when you are grinding, you're really not trying to get hit. So that's, I do see that. I do get that. I agree. I do agree. Salvage. Now this, I will say I would put it at A, and now let me tell you why. So I wasn't using these previously, and now I'm a big fan of them because when I'm looting, I typically find health. I have extra armors, and I'm not trying to grind. And to find implants that give you these are very difficult. And I'm going to replace my Quartermaster one with one of these here shortly. So in my opinion, I would put this in an A, which I know is ranking it pretty damn high.
I would agree. It has great utility for looting. IDR is, it's kind of scary seeing that big red 15%, but It's negligible overall.
right? And
You know, if you run the Apex, it cancels it out.
right, and again, you find meds while you're looting. I think that one will. I think there's a good argument to put that into B, but we'll see. All right, X violence. So 8% damage. So you're doing this to grind, and you get negative 4% damage reduction. I would say I can see this going in B or A. What's your opinion?
I would say it's B. I would only use it if it pushes me to a damage breakpoint.
Okay. All right, now we got Fat Man's. I'm going to say S. And the reason I say S is because 13.5% damage, and it's hard to find implants that give you that without a negative. I can see it being an A class as well. I would say A or S for me. What's your thoughts?
I say it falls in S. It's definitely one that you want if you're looking at bossing or something similar.
It's a Fat Man. All right, Feral Heart. 12% damage inflicted, 2% movement speed, 5% incoming damage reduction, 30% search speed. I would say I would give it an S, and because you're grinding with this, you're not looting, so that 30% search speed doesn't matter. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna agree on that. Yeah, it definitely belongs in S.
Fortune. Again, this is like that other one. You know, it's kind of what you pick. I would say S or A. You know, most people take this and they do the 100% chance to find armor, which I would class that as an A, I guess. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would classify it as an A. You know, you're going to dump all the points into probably one stat, so it's only going to give you one stat. It's a solid number, but there are better.
Right. Okay. Frostbite, 17% damage and negative 2 speed. I would say S. What's your thoughts?
Definitely yes. It's a huge amount of damage for a negligible amount of movement speed.
Gambit, again, here's another one of those ones. I would say A. What's your thoughts?
Definitely A tier. Being able to roll the potential for 7% experience, 7% damage, and 7% movement is massive.
I rolled this one time and I got 7% damage, 7% experience, and I think 4% speed.
Yeah, see, I have rolled multiple times and haven't got that good of rolls yet.
All right, Genius, 15% experience. I would say S. What's your thought?
Definitely yes. You can't beat it for grinding experience at all.
Ghastly, 5% experience, 5% incoming damage reduction, and 6% movement speed. This is a good one. I would say
it's a toss-up between B and A.
Yeah. What do you think, A or B?
I would say B. It's solid mid-game, but you're going to end up replacing it eventually.
I agree. That's a good call. All right, Ghost Implant. 7% experience, 5% movement speed, 5% incoming damage reduction. I'm going to go B on mine.
Yeah, it's a B for me as well.
All right, Golden Pumpkin, 6% EXP and 6% movement. I'm going to go B. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it sits at a B for me as well. It's nice boosts, but you know, it's got niche uses.
It's getting hard to drag and drop these damn things. Golden Rabbit, 15% experience, 25% ammo, 25% cash, 25% chance for weapons, and 25% chance to find armor. I would say S class for looting. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely solid. It's a toss-up between S and A for me. I'll let you decide on where you place it.
I would say just because we have so many A's, I'll place it in S right now because to me, the rabbit sticks out to me. Halloween, same thing. Put it in junk. I mean, it's just 10% cash, 10% ammo, right? You good with that? F?
Yeah. Completely fine with me.
Haste, 10% movement speed. I would say A because it's only 10%, which sounds like a lot, but yeah, that's my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a solid A. It's definitely a solid. For being an LE, you would expect it to be better, but it's solid.
Holy cow. That was Havoc. All right, Havoc implant. 7% experience and 8% damage inflicted. Man, actually, I never really thought about the Havoc very much, but I'd say that's a toss-up between A and S. I mean, if you think about that, if you're
Yeah,
grinding, dude, that's like 15% boost. I never realized how good that was. What are your thoughts?
it's definitely one that sneaks up on you. I would say it's S simply because it is an LE. It's going to be a little bit
I don't even know if I have
of
my
a
Havoc still
push to
now.
get, but
Huh.
it's
That's
definitely solid boosts.
dude, why does it keep doing that to me? Hunter implant, 5% chance to find weapons, 2% search speed. I mean, that's just basic. Do we have a I don't know, man. F or
You know, we
C.
don't
What
have
do you
any of
think?
the tier ones. The tier ones do have a little bit more utility than the.
Yeah, they do. You're right. They do. I agree. C?
Yeah, yeah, I would definitely say C.
Okay, why does it keep
That's a really good question. If you
there we
click the
go. I think
box at
I
the
fixed
bottom
it.
left corner, it should lock it all in place.
All right. Iron skin implant. 3% damage reduction. Again, C for me. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a solid C. Incoming damage reduction is cool, but not really that useful.
Infiltrator, 10% damage, 20% chance to find weapons, and 10% search. I would say A or S, and only because if you're looting, you want the weapons, you want the search speed, and that 10% can boost you, like you were mentioning, to that damage area that you need. So I would say A or S. What are your thoughts?
And it sits at a solid A for me.
Okay.
It's like mid tier A.
Okay. Infinia, it's funny, it's cool. I would say, in my opinion, a C. What do you think?
Yeah, it's all around. It's not giving you anything crazy,
No.
but it's cool to have. I would definitely say C.
And it's better than, a Christmas one that you throw away. I mean, it is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
9%
nine
boost.
overall stats is pretty solid, even though it's spread out.
Ingenuity, 10% ammo. Should we throw all these into C?
Well, Ingenuity has like a really niche use. Like it's only really used if you're going to be looting overstacks and you don't have anything better to put there.
Would you go with an F?
I would go with an F, to be
Okay.
completely honest.
Did we skip hyper or did it just not get to that yet?
It hasn't got to hyper yet.
Okay. Hopefully I took a picture of the damn thing. Iron skin implant, 3% incoming damage reduction. I would say that's probably gonna. I mean, dude, I almost want to put it in F. To be honest with you, I'd go F or C. What do you want?
Yeah, base iron skin probably does belong in F. Where'd she go? Oh, it's dropped in C.
Is it?
If you scroll up, it's the second one on the right.
Got it. Thanks. Jack of all. Jack of all. So 3.5 experience, 3.5 damage, 3.5 movement, 15 ammo, 15 cash, 15 weapons, 15 armor. I would say A or S.
It's a solid A tier.
Okay. I've had that implant since it came out.
Yeah. Conversely, I have the versatility, which is the Venetron version.
Right. All right, Jingle Bell. 5% movement, 10% more loot spots, 10% search, 10% ammo, 10% cash, 10% chance, 10% chance to find armor. So both weapons and armor. I would say A. What's your thoughts?
Honestly, I think it's a solid S. Like if you're looting, you're going to use it simply for search speed and loot spots.
Okay, we'll throw that up there. Dude, I hate how it won't go to the bottom. Thank you. Okay. Jolly Implant. So again, 10 points to allocate. So you're either going to have 10% experience, 10% damage, or 1% movement. I would say probably A, just because I
Jolly
know.
Implant's definitely A.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's good all around. You can swap it up for whatever you need. Need to hit a
Yeah, I
damage
agree. You
breakpoint,
can.
swap the damage.
Right. You can use it for whatever you're trying to do. I agree. Lethality implant. So 10% damage and 20% PvP. Okay, so I would say an A class or an S. If you're a PvPer, it is an S. So I think we should probably throw it. In my opinion, I would throw it an S.
Yeah, I would throw it in S as well. 10% damage is solid, even if you're not PvPing.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I agree. Looter implant, 30% ammo, cash, weapons, and armor. I would say, I almost want to throw it in S. I would throw it in S.
I would throw it in S as well. I use the inverse of that.
I'd like this whole thing to fit in one screen. All right. Mastercraft implant. I know I'm crazy, but I'm gonna say A or S.
It's a toss-up between A and S. It's a solid A right now, but it depends on what they do changing the Mastercraft system.
I think that's a fair bet. So what he's speaking about is they said they're going to make it so Mastercrafted items are worth more based on the role they get. So if this adds, 2 to stats and 6 to stats, whatever, it could make your items worth a lot more. So I get what he's saying. If they do that, it would jump up to S. Master Implant, Mastery, 14% experience. I'm going to say S.
Solid S tier.
Okay, Mimic, I'm going to say S. So Mimic takes whatever implant you want and, it mimics it. If it has a negative side effect, it does double that. So you got to be careful with that. But I would say it's an S class.
Definitely an S class. You can't pass it up. It's too good. You pair it with another S tier implant, and you're looking pretty.
All right, Mortality Implant, 9% experience, 10% damage. Man, I almost want to say S. I'm going to say S.
I say S on this one as well. It's solid for grinding experience or bossing.
March of the Living, MOTL. So if you don't know, the game came out. You had to pre-order it to get that, which I did back in the day. 5% movement speed, 5% experience, and 5% damage. Pretty solid. Use all those when you grind. I would say A or S.
It's a solid A tier for me.
Okay. Murder Implant, again, if you're PvPing, I'm gonna say it's an S class if you're PvPing. If you're not, then probably an A. What's your thoughts?
It's definitely an S. It's a step up from the lethality with an additional 5% PvP points gained, but it's the same damage.
Right. Okay.
Can't go wrong with it.
Mutant, so 20 points to use. And again, you can use it any way. I would say S class.
Definitely an S. It's a jacked up Jolly implant.
All right, Naughty Implant, 10% damage and negative 5% movement speed. I'm gonna say B. What are your thoughts?
It's a solid high B for me as well. It's solid for, wasteland grinding, but that's about all it's going to be used for.
I know we were giving like 10 to 12% in A's, so since this comes with a negative, I think it's fair to throw it in B. A Neurodrive, 5% movement speed, 3% attack, 5% search. I'm going to give it an A, and the reason I give it an A is because attack speed is very difficult to get. There's not a lot of it. So when you get a little bit of it, you can really tell.
Oh yeah, especially when paired with dexterity, attack speed is so nice. It does have diminishing returns with the more you stack, but it's solid A tier.
Nice implant, so negative 5% experience, 5% incoming damage reduction, and 5% movement speed. I would say C.
It's a toss up between C and B for me because it would be solid, if you're looting, you're not really uh, sure of yourself on taking damage and not getting hit while looting. It's solid to use, but it's very niche.
Okay. We'll throw it in C for now. Notoriety implant, 2%. I'm going to throw this in F for me. What do you think?
Yeah, PvP implants are really weird. They fall into very niche categories.
I mean, we could
if you're
give it
going
a
to use them,
C.
you're going to use them. But it's just a weird place.
What do you think, C or F?
Either F or C is fine.
We'll put it in C because if you are PvPing, it does have a spot, I guess. All right, Oblivion, negative 20% experience and 30% movement. I would say S, and the reason I would say S is because if you're wanting 30% speed, you're probably wanting it for a specific reason, and I don't think you're going to find 30% movement speed anywhere else.
Yeah, no, it definitely sits in S tier simply just for getting around the inner city faster.
It's funny, man, because I've been playing this game and I know all the implants, but doing this chart has opened my eyes to a few implants that I never thought of. Obsidian implant, 5% experience gain, 7% damage, and 4% movement speed. Experience, damage, and movement. Man, I would say A or S. I would say S. I mean, if you're grinding,
It is a solid amount. It is 16% stats. You can't pass up 16. It goes in S tier for me.
see, like I never thought about that implant very much. I don't even know if I use it, to be honest with you. I could be using it and not know it. I don't mess with my implants very much. Occultic Eye, 25% ammo, 75% cash, 25% weapons, 25% armor, and 10% blueprint chance, and negative 5 damage. I would throw this in an S, especially for looters. I can see it being an A, but I would throw it in S.
No, I would throw it in S as well. I actually did see a huge difference on the amount of cash I was bringing in each loot trip after I got it. I was going from, like 50 to 60K per run to 70 to 80K.
And then we have the Omni Drive, a little bit of everything. I could read all that to you, but I'm not going to. What are your thoughts? So I'm going to say S.
Yeah, sheer number of stats, S tier. You can't find more stats on an implant.
And it's so cheap, dude. It's like 60 million right now. It makes me want to buy more, to be honest with you. That's cheap.
You have to wait till I buy mine.
Yeah. Orange Jack implant, 7% damage, 7% movement, 7% loot spots. I would put this in the S because loot spots helps a lot, movement helps a lot, and damage helps a lot.
And definitely S tier. It's solid for, bossing or bandits. Kind of solid if you can hit a breakpoint in the wasteland, but the loot spots and movement speed are massive for looting.
All right, Parasite, 15% attack speed, negative 5% incoming damage reduction, which I don't think that matters. So to me, I'm still going to put this as an S.
Yeah, no, it definitely sits at S. 15 attack speed, you can't beat it.
Perception implant, 3% experience. I'm going to put it as a C.
Definitely solid C. It's nice to throw in there if you're experienced grinding. You end up getting a free implant slot and don't have anything better to put in there.
Got it. All right, Pioneer, 10% experience, 7% movement, 20% chance to find miscellaneous blueprint. I will go with A. I can also see it as a B or an S. I can see it on all three.
Yeah, with the way that miscellaneous blueprint stat works, it's very weird. It falls into a low A tier for me.
Okay. What did we put the other one in that did that? Do you remember the other one that did blueprint? Infiltrate. What? No. What was the blueprint one? Do you remember?
Um. Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't either. I was gonna put it in the same one as that. Pioneer,
Yeah.
or is that the one we just did? That's the one we just did. I don't remember. There was one that had 30% though. Do you remember that?
I do remember that one, but I can't remember which one it was.
Okay. Well, that's all right. We move on. Predator gland. If anybody knows, throw that in the comment section. Let us know what it was. I guess that's the question of the day. Predator gland, 5% damage inflicted, 30% ammo, 30% cash, 20% chance to find armor, and 15% loot or search speed. Sorry. I'm gonna go with mine. Oh man, I'd say S.
So it's at an S for me simply because it can push you to the 1,000 damage breakpoint to one-shot everything in the southeast zone while still giving you an enhanced looting stats.
Okay. Prophecy implant, negative 20% damage, and then 100 everything else. I'm gonna put it in S for me.
Yeah, no, it sits in S. That's one of the best looting implants you can get simply for the sheer armor, weapons, and cash.
And one thing I want to call
You know,
out.
the ammo is...
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it's alright. The ammo is negligible unless you're looting overstacks, but it's going to make overstacks way more common.
And one thing I want to add is this negative 20. One thing you have to watch is when you mimic things. So I mimic this, but if you mimic this, the mimic will do negative 40, so you have negative 60 damage. Just something to call out. Prosperity, 33% cash, 27 ammo, 33 weapon, and 27 armor. I would put it in S.
Definitely S tier. If you're min-maxing, you definitely want to pick that over the looter.
Prowler, 5% damage, 7 movement. In my opinion, dude, I'm gonna throw it in B.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking low A, simply due to it being able to be used for bossing and grinding.
We can throw it in A. But yeah, I just, I don't know. Not a big fan, I guess. Movement speed doesn't really do it for me a whole lot. Quartermaster, dude, it is good.
Quartermaster is a solid B for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I would say B.
Like, it's really good and it'll carry you through probably mid-game, but you're going to end up replacing it.
If you don't know, get it from the Vindatron. It's $100 in Synchronom. Buy it, pick it up. It's cheap. Like I said, I will be replacing
Brand new
mine.
accounts automatically get it at level 50.
Oh, I did not know that. That's good to know. Oh yeah, right there it says. Didn't know that. Okay, rabbit foot implant. 10% experience, 20% ammo, 20% cash, 20% weapon, 20% find armor. I would put this as an S class because to me, looting, it's hard to find a looting implant that gives you everything, and this is one of the few. So to me, I would put it as S.
It's a toss-up between S and A for me, simply because there are better, but it is incredibly solid and pretty easy to get.
What does the golden one do? Didn't we look at the golden rabbit foot or something? Golden rabbit. I wonder what that
Yeah, so the
does.
golden rabbit implant just adds extra stats to it all. It's like a buffed up rabbit foot.
Okay, so we'll put rabbit at A. All right, rage. I'm gonna put it down in the C category, just 2% damage. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a
Yeah,
basic.
you know, it's solid. You find it. If you find it while looting, you got an implant slot open, you might as well throw it in there.
Right.
You're not pushing any breakpoints with it. It's literally just exists to fill a slot.
Then we have the ravenous gut, 15% experience, negative 6% incoming damage reduction, and 4% movement. I've never used this, but man, no, I would say might make the A. It might make the S tier, dude. What's your thoughts?
I think it makes the S tier simply due to the sheer experience gain.
Yeah, and you get movement speed.
You know,
Who cares about
if you
damage
hit all the
reduction?
damage thresholds, Yeah, if you get all the damage thresholds, that experience is going to be better than anything else.
I'm telling you what, when we get done with this video, I'm going to go back to this and I'll see if I can save this for you guys and link you. But I'm going to go back to my implants and relook at my setup here because there's some things on here that I've never really paid attention to, I guess. Runner implant, 10% movement speed. I would say A. I don't know. I would say A. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a solid A tier. Movement speed is always good to have.
Sage, 30% experience, negative 25% damage reduction. Again, probably going to go S for me. What do you think?
Definitely S tier for grinding. You're not trying to get hit while you're grinding. That damage is nothing.
Salvage implant, I'm going to say C.
Definitely a solid C. There are better, but it's a solid. I'm using one right now.
Savage Eye, 16% damage inflicted, negative 3%. So I'm going to... I'd say A. What are your thoughts? Maybe an S.
If you're using it to push a damage breakpoint, definitely S tier, but it sits at A regardless.
So what, A?
Yeah.
What was the downfall? Negative 3% movement. Gosh, man, because we put Santa's or helper or whatever the hell that's called. What's that? The Fat Man one. It only did 13.5, and we put it in S, but it didn't have any negatives. That's a tough one. All right, Scavenger Gland. Negative 3% incoming damage reduction. 5 movement, 10% loot, 10% search, 10% ammo, 10% cash, 10% weapons. I would say, oh man, A or S, because it's only 10% now. What would you say?
It's a solid high A for me. It's every stat you want for looting. You get between spots quicker, there are more spots, you're getting them faster. You can't argue with that.
Scavenger Hunt, 8% damage, 30 ammo, 30 cash, 30 armor, 15 search. For me, S.
Definitely an S. The search speed alone.
Scavenger, find armor, and 2% search. I would put it as a C. What are your thoughts?
It's a high C, low B for me.
Scorchstone, 6% experience, 8% damage, 2% movement. I would put that as an S.
Solid 16% overall stats. I would throw it as an S as well.
Experience, 2% basic. I would say, again, C.
Yeah, C, definitely. Like, if you're at the point where you're using those, you probably want the experience to unlock more implant slots.
I wonder if that's it. Does that look like it says experience? I must not have typed it in.
Mm-hmm.
It is. All right.
Good.
I'll have to fix that, but that's okay. We must continue. Scrutiny implant. So let's see here. 11% experience, 1% damage, incoming damage reduction, and movement speed. So 11, 12, 13, 14% overall. I would still throw it in A. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a mid-tier A for me.
Secrolink, 4% experience, 2% damage, 2% movement, 2% attack. So again, I would say A because it's a lower percent of attack speed. I would say A. What's your thoughts?
I would put it in a high A. Sounds about right for that.
I mean, I could see it in S, either or. What do you want to do, A or S?
Yeah, I think it belongs in A.
Okay.
Like, it's up there, like it's almost pushing into S, but it's not quite there.
Serpent implant, 5% damage, 5% movement, 5% search, 5% attack. I would say S.
Definitely S. If you're hitting Raven Ridge, I would definitely have it on.
Silver Rabbit, 13% experience, 25% ammo, 25% cash, 25% weapons, 25% armor. I would say S. What's your thoughts?
Definitely S. It sits right between the Golden Rabbit, or Yeah, the golden rabbit and the regular rabbit's foot.
Snow globe, 8% loot spots, 8% search, 8% ammo, 8% cash, 8% weapons, and 8% armor. Oh man, I would still say S. What's your thoughts?
It's a toss up between A and S for me. It is solid all around, and the 8% loot spots and search speed is nice, but there are better that you could throw in.
Okay, we'll go A. Sugar Rush, 6% movement, 10% search. I would put it as B.
I would put it as an A simply because you're hitting spots faster and you're getting between them faster. It's going to make your looting trip faster overall.
So I'll put it in B because I was almost going to say C. So we'll go halvesies. Survival, 2% incoming. I'll put that. In my opinion, I would put that as a C. It's still damage reduction.
I don't know.
F.
Honestly, I think it's only worth scrap. I think it belongs in F.
Okay. Symbiote, 15% attack speed. I'd put that as an S.
Definitely S. 15% with no downsides.
Trinity Implant, 4% experience, 6% damage, 5% movement speed. Well, let's think here. That's 15% total. I would put it in S.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. It definitely belongs in S tier. You can't pass up the...
Yeah.
It's just sheer utility.
Yeah, I agree. Versatility. 4% experience, 4% damage, 4% movement, 12% ammo, 12% cash, 12%. So I would put this in A.
I think it belongs in mid-A tier.
Violence Implant, 3% damage. I'd put it in C.
Yeah, it belongs in C.
I still see this Hyper one down here. I don't know. Did we skip Hyper?
We might have.
Or did I just forget to take a picture of it or something? I don't know. All right. Volatile Devil Implant. 6% damage, 10% incoming damage reduction, 6% movement. I would say A.
Yeah, it definitely sits in A tier. It's solid. It's two solid stats with IDR. I mean, the IDR is just icing on the cake at that point.
And then Volatile Implant, 5% damage and 5% damage reduction. I would put it at B.
Yeah, no, it definitely ranks lower than the Devil Implant.
Wealth, 25% cash. I would put that down in the F.
I mean, I would honestly put it in C. 25% cash isn't a lot, but it's still a decent buff early game.
Okay, we'll go with it. White Jack Implant, 5% damage, 5% movement, and 5% loot. I'd put it B or
It's a toss-up on this one for me. It's a B or A toss-up for me.
Let's go B. You okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
X Dusk Implant, 8% experience, 8% damage, 2% movement, and 4% search. I'd say A. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between a high B, low A for me.
Well, you know what, though? Think about this. Well, if you look at the ones we put in S tier, they were doing what? Like 13 to 16% damage and stuff? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is doing 8% experience, 8% damage, 16 right there. Should it go to S?
Yeah, it just doesn't fall into a niche category. That's part of it. I think putting it in A is solid.
Okay.
It's just a solid all-arounder.
Right. X Hyper, 4% movement speed. I would say C.
Yeah, it's a toss-up between C or a very, very low
one.
B.
No, that isn't the Hyper one.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to use it. What are we putting on it?
Hyper is 2.5% movement speed. I think that one belongs in C. The X hyper belongs in B though.
So this one, so regular hyper goes to C, and the X hyper goes to B.
Yeah.
Okay. X iron skin, 5% incoming damage reduction. Again, it depends on what you're doing, but I would say probably B for the X because that we know what we're getting with those. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're looking for an IDR, that's what you're going for.
X perception, again, 5% experience would be
B as well.
X salvage, B as well.
It's a toss up between a high B or a low A for me, simply because it is better than the salvage implant. It's not the Error X salvage. It's not an amazing 20% to everything, but it is solid.
Did we put the salvage in here? Salvage is C.
Yeah.
We'll stick with B. We'll keep them all together here. X violence, B again.
Yeah, I would throw it as a B.
All right, so we have done it. So there you go, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. That took us 56 minutes to do that. So I appreciate your help very much, man. What I will do is I will see if I can save this, and I will put a link in the YouTube video, and then Leviathan can put it in the Discord as well. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming on here and helping me do this. And I appreciate all your help on the Discord channel, man. You're doing amazing. But thank you very much.
Not a problem, man. I'm just keeping the community together.
Yes, sir. And if you guys haven't checked it out, go to the Discord. We're getting more people every day. It's a pretty good time. So other than that, just subscribe, like, get on the Discord, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.